This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Game Time. We are super hyped for tonight. We have a lot of things planned for you guys, but I want to preface before I get, well, actually, it's in his contract. I got to introduce him first. Mr. Glen Planamento, how you doing, sir?
I'm alive.
He's had a long week at work. Also,
really long.
Also, we've got Mr. Wild Bill. We got him. He's not feeling too wild tonight, though, because he's long week at work, too.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's been a crazy couple of weeks.
And we've got the myth, the legend, the Shelion.
Free MK4.
Free. Dude, that's Jayde's entrance here. I keep thinking of Night at the Roxbury.
She's the only one who gets her own entrance music.
We should do that.
Yeah, like a wrestling entrance. Wait, go, Glenn. Go back to Glenn.
Yeah.
Put your hand up. Your right hand. I think it's your right hand. Let me see your right hand. Nope. Left
his
hand.
left hand. His left hand.
Okay, there. Oh, look. Does that lead straight to the labyrinth?
Let's see. Hold on.
Talk about getting inside your arcade.
Straight to the center of the labyrinth.
So, guys, tonight I want to preface this, and we're all on board with this. I know there's a lot of questions with the thumbnail. I want to preface this. This is going to be a drama-free zone. This is not a hatred. This is not something that we're going to go down a road and it's going to be a one of those things where it's like a bash on a company. But there's something that we need to talk about here with this space that's kind of been brought up. Are we being censored? And there's some discrepancies in fact, I posted this, Glenn. I posted this in your group, and I got attacked. I got ripped up one side down the other by people that are fanboys, and then I got attacked by people that are not fanboys that are in there. As you know, it's a variety. But they were basically like, well, you obviously don't know the meaning of the word censor, because nobody's censoring anybody. Nobody's censoring you. And Jayde and I had an experience in the last 24 hours that was not conducive, right? I think that would be the best way to put it. It wasn't ideal from a company. We'll leave it at that. And we were offering collective criticism about some issues with a cabinet, and they came back and lumped me with a group and called me a hater. And I own 22 arcade 1-ups. I bought a T-shirt.
To be a non-hater, you have to own 25.
Oh, is that what it is?
So that's why. So
25?
you have to fall into the category, Steven.
Well, does it count? I bought a T-shirt. I bought a hat.
Got to be 5 T-shirts and 3 hats to equal 1 unit. So
okay.
Still short.
Okay. So and Jayde, you purchased about 18 cabinets in your time, even though you've sold
Probably
a few
in
off.
total, about, yeah.
But do you own a hat or T-shirt?
Unfortunately I don't. B-Kong said he was going to send me one of those cool Star Wars style ones, but
well, so that's why you're getting hated on. You're and so Bill, you own how many? You got the two. You got a cabinet.
I've talking just arcade 1-up right now. I own 4. I have the Tempest. I have the Pong pub table, and I have 2 party gates.
And Glenn, you have how many cabinets have you had in your before the flood and everything? How many have you had of arcade 1-up?
I think I had 24 total. I have a
I thought you
Ultimate. Did. I have a couple of iArcades, but I still have like 10 that are almost back to operation.
I can't stop looking at that Tron.
He's got it there. So what brought this up is Glenn and I, we've been in communities, we've been influencers for companies that have told us, you can't post that. You can't do that. You can't say that. You got to review it this way. And basically, if we didn't, we were censored. like you'd be written off. And I kind of felt like in the last 24 hours that was the direction Arcade 1-Up was going. Now, it's been argued that it's gaslighting. Okay, which like Glen's being censored right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's gaslighting. But how do you expect the product to get better? We all know about the issues with NFL Blitz. We're not even going to get into that. We're not even going down that road. This is what started it all, was the whole NFL Blitz. Jayde, how is a product going to get better if you can't, as a company, accept criticism on your shortcomings?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is, the answer seems really simple. You know, if somebody is, putting something up on social media saying, hey, you know what, there's these issues with the product. I think that a lot of people are noticing these issues and that it should be addressed, and I think that part of the issue is when you kind of beat around the bush and you're not being direct about the way you're addressing the problem, it causes more of a stir. And when you take somebody's, on a professional level, take a tweet like that and you start spamming it with video replies and stuff like that, and saying that what was it that they said?
Well, they called me a hater. Now some of the guys were saying, well, you were just kind of lumped into the group because they were responding to somebody else. That's still no excuse. That shouldn't even be coming out of the mouth.
Well, yeah, regardless, I think that's
right.
Just the point. You just don't, in a professional environment, especially one where you have consumers who are influencers, reply to them with all these video posts. And I'm not going to go into detail because I really don't want to get in the mud of that. But I just think that the way it was handled was not in a professional manner, and that moving forward, it's very simple. You're a company that makes a product, and if you screw it up, just take accountability for it and move forward. I think the suggestion was, hey, it would be a good move to address the problem, maybe make a roadmap and talk about how you're committed to fixing it and making it better for everybody.
Bill, what are your thoughts? And Glenn, we want to get your thoughts as well.
It's weird because we kind of live in a society right now where we have this thing called cancel culture. And, it's one thing when it's, like just regular everyday people saying, oh, I don't like what you said, so I'm going to go after you and try to get you canceled, censored, whatever. It's a whole nother ballgame when it's a company that's doing it for whatever reason. So, it's really, I don't know. I'm not even sure what to say, to be honest with you. The whole thing's got me so confused because, that's not what this is supposed to be about. This is supposed to be about reliving our youth.
Yes.
Enjoying ourselves. And if there's something that we think is wrong or a little off, look, for the most part, nobody's really coming out and saying, don't buy these products, they're crap, whatever. I mean, yes, there's a few people who that's their, their thing, that these products are crap, don't buy them. But for a lot of us who we really love this stuff and we just want the products to get better,
mm-hmm.
A little bit of criticism shouldn't hurt. And I think certain, again, if you're talking about Arcade 1-Up,
this is across the board. This isn't
I
just
know
Arcade
that. I
1-Up.
know that.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is, if you look at some of their more recent products, it does feel like they were listening to the community. When you look at the quality of marquees, when you look at what happened recently with monitors, and a lot of people pointed that out, and they kind of said, you know what, you're right. We got what we got. And we're going to try to, go back to the BOEs as much as we can. So for a while there, it did feel like they were listening. And then all of a sudden, one cab comes out and it's the greatest cab that's ever been produced. And if you say anything against it, there's something wrong with you. That just
Okay.
doesn't seem right to me.
Zero Hero, can you pull that tweet back up? He said that there's a lot of people that talk about one-up products, but they don't buy the products. And I'm gonna like partially agree with what he's saying here because, you know, like I can't really talk smack on Blitz because I don't own it, but I can see that clearly when you have someone, you know, who is a high-end Blitz player making a lot of criticisms and showing video proof that there's issues with the cab. There are things that need to be addressed. Okay, so it's not just about, you know, it's not just about the cab was released too early and there's all these other problems. It was a botched release. Okay, we all know that. But the issue at hand is that it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed in a professional manner. You owe that to your consumer when they're paying $600 for a cab. And to caveat that, for the people that don't buy arcade one-ups and, you know, they're criticizing all these products, I just think, like, it's not really that fair. Like, dude, if you're going to be so critical of it, then get one, make a video of it, and criticize the crap out of it. You know, at least then you have more to stand on in that sense, because there's a lot of this, you know, I'm going to tell you, don't do this, or do this, do this. You need to pre-order. You don't need to pre-order. You know, do this, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, yo, this whole YouTube community, like, we're all smart enough to think for ourselves and know what we want. And I think that, yes, when we come here, we're looking for other people's opinions because we probably want to buy something or mod something. And when you're sitting here trying to tell people that, no, don't do that, or yeah, do that, that's you know, that's defeating the purpose in my opinion, because I'm on here to, you know, help people make decisions for themselves. That's the way I look at it. And that's what I look for when I'm on YouTube.
Yeah. You know, I want to just, you brought it up a second ago. Goofyfoot, he made a comment about how nobody's ever convinced him to buy anything. And 100%, that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to convince anybody to buy anything. I don't think any of us are.
No.
We're here to talk about things we enjoy. Maybe give a little, you know, but especially if you own something.
Well, wait a second.
Glenn
did pay me to help promote his product. So,
wow. He's different.
Yeah, but carry on. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
No, but I don't want to be the kind of person who's up here telling you what you should or shouldn't do. I want to give my thoughts and opinions on it. If you agree, that's fantastic. If you disagree with me, that's great too. But if you watch enough of us, you can get an informed opinion on what you want to do, on whether or not you should purchase something. That's the point.
Yeah.
For yourself.
Think for yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Glenn, what's your thoughts? He's taking it all in. He was just soaking it in. I could see the wheels moving.
Let me tell you a little bit about Pac-Man.
You know, I'm listening to everyone talk here. You know what? I actually feel partially responsible for like all of this, and the reason being, you know, when I started the community, I started a lot of the community. I'm taking credit for it. I am.
It's your fault.
I started a lot of the official fan pages for the simple reason of getting the companies and the community to communicate with one another, for the companies and the influencers to communicate with each other, for us to have an opinion on work with these companies to make their product better. I love gaming. I love all the people I've met. I love all the people who enjoy the games. My whole purpose was to make sure the experience that new generations were coming in could experience the games the way they were supposed to be, right? But I've also been very disappointed on a number of levels from the companies that I've been trying to get the community and them to communicate back and forth. There's been some good things. Don't get me wrong; it's not all bad. But it seems when it goes bad, it goes right down to the bottom. You know, I've experienced it. Anyone who knows me and my fellow influencers who know me know that I've definitely experienced it. And I'm sorry that Stephen and Jayde had to experience it, but it's uncalled for. I mean, this is gaming. Toys. I mean, P-Dubs recently said the same thing. There was something on Super Game Room Dudes last week, and he's like, you know what, guys, this is toys, games.
Mhm.
Now, I know we were talking before about shilling for me. When I make my stuff, I make like nothing on them. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to make sure that when you buy a machine, you can play the machine. If something breaks, you have a way to continue it along. But again, influencers, people don't realize a lot of time and effort gets put into these videos, right? Now, you could follow a channel because you believe that particular person, or you could follow a channel just to badmouth them. I guess that's your choice. But from us here on the panel and all the people who I know in the community, they enjoy these gamings as much as anyone. It's a passion for them. It's not like they're doing it to make a buck. They're doing it because they enjoy it, and they're sharing their experiences. And what Bill said a moment ago is true. We're not here to convince you to buy something or not buy something. We may show a lot of excitement. Like when I got my Asteroids machine, which is right over my shoulder right over there, that was my first influencer review unit I had gotten. And I was absolutely very excited to get that. It was special to me. It was my first step really with a company to go back and forth with. But there's no reason for personal attacks whatsoever. And we see that more and more. I also, again, on my official fan pages, I've had to go against some of my admins because these companies are telling them to pull posts down where it's uncalled for. There's nothing wrong with the post. If someone buys a product or someone has issues with the product, should be able to voice their opinion in a respectful way. But if the company doesn't like it, they're having them pull it down. And then I get a message from that person saying what happened, and I go put it back on. I got to tell my admins, that's not how I run my channel. That's not how I want my groups to be run. Everyone has a reason, and at least I'm in America. And if you're not, when you post in my groups, you're in America, you deserve to be heard. Now, if you're over the top, just cursing, just going, ape over something with no fact behind it, I get it, the post should be pulled. But if someone gets a product and they have a question because something's not set up right, or they got it, it was defective, and they can't get hold of someone, something like that should be posted. And the company should say, oh, you know what? We're very sorry that you had that experience. Let's make it better. And there was a time that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's gotten to be the other way. And I guess right now, I feel responsible about all this because the community loves these machines. Whether you like Arcade 1-Up, whether you like At Games, or like iArcade, New Wave Toys, of course, GRS products, I'm not going to lie. I'm very happy when people tell me stuff is good. But if stuff's bad, you can ask anyone out there. I do what I can to correct it, whether it's replace the product if there's something wrong with it, or help them out if there's a problem. And that's what these were for. It's not for a company to come back and attack anybody for any reason. It's completely uncalled for, and it's not welcomed. And again, this is not the first time this has happened with certain companies, and it's really uncalled for and childish. And if they can't grow up and be adults like the rest of us, maybe they shouldn't be doing what they're doing and move on to other products. Because we're here to support the companies and buy products, and we deserve the same respect they want from us, period. And I apologize to Stephen, and I apologize to Jayde that you experienced this type of attack from a company that is completely uncalled for. And now, with that being said, hold on one second. There, I'm done.
So I want to put this out there, too, because that's not the only attacks that we're seeing. And not that we're trying to change the world here. We're just trying to make people think about this. There's a lot of attacks going on with quote-unquote shills. That's what everybody's been calling. Shills. I start thinking just like people were saying I was using censored incorrectly. I think there's a lot of people saying shills incorrectly. Listen, there's a lot of guys out there that are influencers for companies. Arcade 1-Up, At Games, iArcade. Okay? There's a big difference, and we had a little discussion about this. There's a big difference between quote-unquote what you're calling shilling and influencers for a product. Guys can truly be excited about a product. I own 22 Arcade 1-Ups. Does that make me a shill? I bought their t-shirts and their hats. Does that make me a shill? I don't get any kind of inside information from Arcade 1-Up. Jayde's had 18. Bill had 7. Glenn had 22. We try to call it right down the middle. There's other guys in here that have been slammed up one side and down the other, ripped apart, policed by other people that aren't even in this community, that are not in this community. And these are great guys that we watch. And I get it. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody, if you don't like a certain person, there's a little unsubscribe button. You can click that, and you never have to deal with them ever again. But like Glenn said, and Glenn was 110% right, why are we all here? We're all here because we want to talk about the problems. We want to talk about the good things. We want to talk about, the bad things, how to make things better. At least that's our desire anyways, and maybe how you can fix things. But most of all, we all have fun playing. At least I like to think we all have fun playing these arcades, whether they're good, bad, or ugly, right?
Yeah.
But don't hate on the influencer guys that are, and there's some of them in here. They've been getting a bad rap. Again, like they're trying to get this information for you guys. I sit back and I'm like, I'm sitting here going like, really, this is what this community has become. I mean, I walked away for a year. Glenn, at the end of the Retro Buzz, I said to you, I'm like, guys, I can't. I said to you and Doug, I said, I can't do this anymore. I said, the community has burned me out because of so much hatred. And we shouldn't be like this.
There's toxic points or toxic people out there that are in all the communities, no matter where you go.
Oh, that's a given, yeah.
There is. So you have to have a tough skin, especially as being an influencer. You have to have tough skin, and Stephen, as well as I do, Doug knows. I've had the lion's share as well of toxicity with certain people, and you also know that I gave people chance after chance after chance, right, to the point where my admins were going to mutiny on me because I try and give people the benefit of the doubt. If someone says, I'm sorry, let them back in, they start doing it again. But there comes a point in time where you realize it's not you, it's not us, it's them, and you either have to ignore it or try to find some way to have peace with it. But that's an individual. That's a single person.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an organization. That's not a company.
Right.
That's a completely different level when a company is attacking and gets other people to attack a person or an individual. I can't tell you how far uncalled for something like that is, and it's on a completely different level. You're going from a blaster to whatever planet thing they call that in episode 7 that I never watched. Star Killer Base, that what it's called? That's what you're talking about here. That big a difference. And again, we're not companies. We're just people. We have other jobs.
People. Yeah.
We have jobs. This is something we do on the side for fun, and we do it with the community to talk and share the experiences. Right? We do not need to be verbally harassed and attacked by companies whose own products we purchase. On top of that, it's sad.
Well, listen, even if you didn't purchase it, like I've been watching, and I'm going to say it, and I hope he doesn't mind. Like your average gamer, he's in the chat room right now. He went on and said that he got a Blitz cabinet. Instead of the community being actually excited for him that he an accomplishment of getting a free cabinet for the work that he's been putting, everybody's been roasting the guy.
Right, and it shouldn't be. Again,
you should not
again,
be.
We talked about it. The videos and the work put into these, even a small channel. I mean, I definitely don't have the highest quality content. If anyone watches my stuff, doesn't mean it doesn't take me hours and hours and hours to put it together.
Your intro alone takes hours and hours and hours.
It used to. The intro used to be 30 minutes long. I mean, it was really bad. But the point is, it's the company sends out something to someone they feel would enjoy the unit, and he likes NFL Blitz, so they sent him a unit. If I remember Twisted Gamer, they sent him the
Killer Instinct.
Yeah, that's up to the organization. Now, instead of people crying about it, maybe start your own channel, start a website, and maybe you'll be noticed, and maybe they would send you something. But again, personally nowadays, I don't even want a product. If I don't purchase it now, I don't even want to deal with it because I don't want to deal with that aspect of people saying, well, you got it for free, so you're giving a favorite review. I'm going to talk back a little bit in the early days of my channel with Mad Little Pixel. When Arcade One first came out, Mad Little Pixel said they were garbage units, and all he was saying, he was the bad cop. And I was saying, well, you got to take it for what they are. They're $2.99. They're an inexpensive way to come home. And I was getting attacked hand over fist by his subs over that. But I still defended my position. I still felt for $2.99, the Asteroids, the Centipede, those early Gen 1 units were worth it for what they were. It can come from anywhere. But the point is, we all have an opinion. you should be allowed to express your opinion. But if you
Yeah.
start going to get to the point where you're
Yeah.
attacking somebody, that really means you don't really have a valid, defendable position, because now you're attacking a person outside of the scope of the argument. And
I
again,
think
that's a problem.
I think that
Yeah.
there's two ways, and I mean I'm just going to caveat off what you're saying, Glenn, but there's kind of like two avenues with that as well. I mean, from the professional level of like a company, you know, when you're looking at it that way, it's like, you know, there's nothing that you can say that could ever justify it. But you know, if you're giving your opinion on something or saying, you know, hey, I think you guys should address this, you know, it doesn't even necessarily have to be, you know, quote unquote attacking. It could just be that they're pushing back at you and saying like, no, look at, we have all this, we have this, and this is like a positive sign that we're doing it right. So screw your opinion. You know, it's basically like them saying, like, not taking any accountability, like, oh, maybe there is something we do need to address or discuss or whatever. And then there's the other part of it, which comes from our end, where if you're an influencer or, you know, a YouTuber, and you're going into chats or just, you know, like really actually attacking people and, you know, calling them a piece of crap and this and that, and I mean making it personal, it's like there's really no reason to do that. Like if you're giving your opinion on an object, a material object, it's one thing to have your opinion and to talk about it and to stand firm on it. But like to attack other people for their opinions or like what they're doing in the influencer ring, like I don't see how anybody can really say that they have like the credibility or like a really valid reason to be able to do that at all. So it definitely comes from both ends.
Yeah.
And I think that the, you know, from the professional side of it, like there is absolutely no excuse. There shouldn't be that kind of pushback towards people or attacking at all. But from our end, 100%, like, dude, like just respect other people's opinions. If you don't agree with it, then for God's sakes, like just leave it be. You know, like if you want to have a discussion with somebody about why you don't agree with it or whatever, then be respectful. Holy crap, it's not that difficult.
And I want to put this out there because there's a lot of chat going on here about your average gamer, about how can we take anything he says seriously? He's been only stating the positives. So anything you can learn from a reviewer is you don't watch just one review. I don't watch just one review.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And UAG is a big football fan. Okay, so let's say, and I'm not putting words in your mouth, UAG, but let's say all he points out is all the positives of the cabinet. Okay? You go watch somebody else that all they point out is all the negatives in the cabinet. You put those two reviews together, you get the best of both worlds, right? That's his style. And correct me if I'm wrong, okay? UAG was just starting when I kind of stepped away from the community, okay? He's only been doing this a year. He's got a lot to learn. I've been broadcasting for almost 20 years. I've been doing content for almost 20 years. I still do stuff for the broadcast and streaming community. I got a pile of gear over here that I have to review yet, that I haven't even touched yet, okay? Not everybody's going to agree with my reviews. Not everybody's going to agree with Glenn's reviews or Bill's reviews or
People
Jayde's
got to watch
review.
my channel to give my review.
Because you won't get past Glenn's 30-minute intro to get to his review. So,
Hey, Stephen Dubs has a comment here. I'm sorry, can you pull it up?
yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can find it. Where down?
This stuff is getting too personal and too crazy. I'm ready to sell my one-ups. And this is really interesting, Dubs, because I mean, and I've talked to you know, all these guys about it, and I think I've said to Steven, I'm like, dude, like I don't even want to look at my arcade collection sometimes because I'm just so like drained from seeing some of the things that happen within the community, and it's like,
well, wait a second. Call a spade a spade. You texted me 2 days ago and said you quit, and I said it wasn't in your contract. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's very true. I did. And that's the thing though. Like that's what it is doing, and it's like, God, dang, like, I mean, I was having fun before I was making content, and I thought, it would be really cool to make content because I know it would be helpful because I go on there looking for all kinds of things all the time that maybe there's just not enough information on, or, that I'm like, I could put that out there and just, offer more information or help people out, whatever. And that was kind of how it all started for me. And so the fact that people get so freaking personal over these things and like are attacking people and are, saying all this stuff about all these other influencers, like, dude, if you're aware of what's going on, who gives a crap? People can make their own decisions. If you don't have the intellect to see past the BS or to make your own decision and you're just watching these people because you're like, I'll just let them make it for me, then that's on you. That is on the person. It's on nobody else.
And it is a matter of perspective. It really is. It's a matter of perspective, and everybody has a different perspective on a thing. I understand that these are not the original cabinets. They're never going to be. Right. And Glen's going to like this statement. I was talking to Jayde earlier today, and I said, out of all the arcade one-up cabinets that I have, the one cabinet that I feel is akin to the original, and probably my favorite cabinet right now, and I'm not a big fan of the game, is the Tron cabinet. I feel, I knew he was going to like that. I feel that cabinet is it just looks nice. And again, it goes back to nobody comes in here and says, well, you only got these 3/4 scale cabinets in here. No, everybody plays them every week in and week out, and they have a blast doing it. We're the difference. I get that. But I look at Moat. Moat got grilled the other day on a stream. Him and Michael B. And I hope they don't mind me mentioning this, but they got grilled, and I thought they handled it very well. And listen, if you don't watch Moat and can laugh when he starts laughing and he's talking about this stuff, there's something wrong with you. He just got like an infectious laugh. And these guys don't deserve. They're working hard. They're grinding. They're putting these videos out. They had no idea we were going to talk about this. But it's time as a community, like Glenn said, we need to come together and stop looking at it as, well, this guy's selling out to this, and this guy's doing this, and this guy's doing. Just take everybody's review and make your own decision, right, Jayde?
It seems like too, like with the level that the community is at now, where a lot of people within the community seem to know each other and know who they are in this community especially. And it's like everybody is aware enough of what is going on at this point. Like I don't know. I mean, it's just the whole negative aspect of it just needs to go away. If you got beef with somebody, like, go hit them up about it. If you don't feel comfortable with somebody because of something that they've done and you feel wronged by it, then block them or ignore them. Do what you have to do to keep yourself safe from that. But that's your prerogative. I mean, it is entirely your prerogative, but you don't go around taking out your crap on other people, because they don't agree with your opinion.
Yeah,
it's the typical keyboard warriors, and it's just sad because you would never talk to someone like that face to face.
Nope.
You would have a discussion,
right?
But because you're behind a screen, they go off the top end like feelings don't matter, like people don't matter. It's just not respectful. It's just not.
Right.
Yeah, and I think somebody had it in here, and I apologize. I pulled it up as we were going here about content creators need to stick together. But I think everybody is. Like, I watched people, like, because Travis made some kind of comment about, I see it in here too. He made something about Code Mystic and NFL Blitz, and I'm not going to go down that road. He actually came out and said, you know what, guys, I screwed up. That takes guts. That's something in this community that I've seen, even from people. I'm not talking content creators, that they're afraid to admit that they were wrong.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It's okay to be wrong.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. And I just think, like, going forward, like, I watched, and I know P-Dubs apologized for what happened, and I don't think there was anything wrong with that. There comes a point, like, there is so much, and I know, Glenn, you said we all have to have thick skin, and I feel bad for, like, Bill and Shelion, because they're just coming into this community as content creators. You have to have thick skin, but there's a lot of work that goes into these shows. There's a lot of prep that goes into these shows. There's a lot of B-roll content that goes into these shows. Videos, live shows that these guys are taking away from their families to sit and entertain you, whether you like them, love them, or hate them. Even like, I'll pull up Rexer. I mean, Rexer does stuff that people absolutely despise, but you know what? He entertains them, and they'll watch. Even if they 100% disagree with anything he has to say, he entertains them, and that takes time away from his family.
And here's the thing with that too. I mean, look, as a content creator, I watch a lot of other content creators. There are some that I enjoy their content, and there have been people I've seen that I don't particularly care for the way they do things. But you know what? 100% every right to put up the content they put up. If I don't like it, who cares? Other people do.
Yeah, I actually heard there might be more than one video on YouTube. You can always go to the next video.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. 100%. And I think I told you guys all this story before. One of the first videos, like either the second or third video I ever made when I started, was the review on the Tempest cab. It was one of the reasons I started my channel. I bought it. I wanted to review it. And one day I'm looking and I go into like the comments that get like flagged by YouTube, and somebody had called me a GD shill and other not so nice things when it got flagged. I'm like, dude, I have 12 subs maybe. If I'm a shill, I'm doing a crap job at it.
Wait a second, Bill, you're going down in history as the lowest subscribing shill. I think everybody in the chat room will agree with that one.
Seriously, I'm like, really?
12
and I laugh at the video now because I've learned. I mean, in the few months I've been doing this, I've learned so much. I like laugh at the video now, but I'm like, really?
Yeah. Well, we don't want this to be like, and this wasn't supposed to be a negative stream, but we want to get that out of the way, because we're going to get into something here with a video that popped up of some of the issues with Blitz, and we're not going to spend a lot of time with this, but we talk about us, the community, always like seeing the glass as like all or nothing, right? Half full or whatever. But we don't look at it from the consumer side, right? We don't look at what a consumer thinks of this product. In today's Arcade 1-Up news, I want you to watch this, and then we're going to come back, have a little dialogue. I know Bill has a topic about digital versus physical media. I want you guys to stick around for that. It's going to be some fun talking. We've got our make or break. We've got what's on deck. There's a lot coming, so take a look at this.
Arcade 1-Up. News and notes.
Nonsense. Look at what happens here. Guy catches it. Everybody else is still moving. He freezes. Guy frozen in the air. People moving towards him. What the hell is happening? What the hell is that? It's little things like that just drive me stinking bonkers. I took the day off work. I've always been a pretty big believer in Arcade 1-Up. I've always kind of looked past some of their little, I don't know, shit stains they've had, and been like, it happens. I, at one time, would consider myself the best NFL Plus player in the world. I think I'm pretty fucking good. I set it up, and I played it last night for the first time, and immediately something felt off. So you're gonna notice some things here as I was playing. I noticed this last night. I noticed this today, specifically on these plays where I can't believe I'm about to say this. There is slowdown in this game. There is slowdown at points in the game, which was never in the original NFL Blitz. And how they could release a game that's not optimized just drives me stinking crazy. And I know that I sound like uber rage nerd right now, because I am. This drives me nuts. They went in and they took this like wonderful game and just threw it out there, and I'm probably going to end up returning it. I can't believe I'm going to do that. It drives me stinking crazy.
Here you can see that he is not in this community, okay? But he bought the game, right? And then he took it back the same day.
Well, 24 hours pretty much.
Okay, but there's still,
yeah.
he pointed out the problems, right? We all know them. We've been talking about it. So, when the company will go after you and act like there's no other problems because they have NFL legends saying how great this is that are not gamers, that are not playing this stuff 24/7, and then they attack you with another video. You kind of sit there and you go, okay, so we're supposed to believe these legends that are getting paid to endorse this, so they're going to say whatever you want them to say, right? And then you got other people making parody videos that are like, this is the greatest thing. I was sitting there crying because this was the greatest thing. You sit there and go, if you're seriously going to put that out as justification for the way this is, why am I doing this? Why am I doing it?
And Zero Hero says this about the bat tops. He also pointed out that the bat tops wouldn't stay on properly. He didn't know what he was getting. There's a reason they changed the name. And I agree with that. Like, that was like a silly thing. But I think one of the important takeaways from it is he does know what he's talking about, and he did show visual evidence of everything that he was talking about, and he's very familiar with the game. Now, granted, he may not be entirely aware of all the mechanics that come along with the arcade 1-up version specific, because I think at one point he was saying that it was like not emulated right or something to that extent, but don't quote me on that. But the point is that here you have somebody who is not even in our community who is talking about the problems that he was facing with this and why it made him want to return it. And I have similar feelings with my Shinku cab, which I'm actually returning. And so I can see that resonates with me, because as someone who's a fan of the game, when you don't feel like it's performing the way you want it to, the ultimate end was to return it. And that's what he did. And there's other people who have said, if you go through Reddit and you look around on YouTube, that have said that they've had issues or have shown issues or whatever. And then on top of that, you have the whole, they advertise it as having online play. So all these things add up to what? They add up to the fact that it was brought to the attention of the company and said, hey, we really think you guys need to address this. We think that everybody deserves that. Seeing as how we're paying $600 for these cabs, and there's a fan base for this game that goes outside of the community, I think that it's important for you guys to address it. And when your response from that company is to basically get trolled with review videos that are praising the cab, or, pretty much that, then it's like, well, that's really unprofessional. And that's the issue, because they're not addressing the problem. They're running away from the problem.
Glenn, if we were going to buy something from you,
that's a big if.
Yeah. wouldn't you, wouldn't you, especially with your new Build-A-Cade, if you gave it out to review, let's say you gave one to Rexer, you gave one to Endless, I'm just going down the list here, one to C-Mart, one to Dr. Freeman, one to Kevgret, those are the last 5 I see, and Rexer and Kevgret came to you and said, Glenn, the pocket to put the pie in is just not deep enough. It'd be great if you could make this a little deeper. Are you going to send a video out of, say, Dr. Freeman, who says, Glenn, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. This thing is like the be-all, end-all. Or are you going to actually entertain what Rexer and what Kevgret's saying?
Well, I'm actually glad you actually brought that up. When I was at and Bill was there at the Hartford Gaming Convention, when I was showing off, actually, I'm sorry, it was the Long Island one. It was the Long Island one that we did. Sorry, there's so many conventions. Somebody came up and they were looking at the Build-A-Cade, and they loved everything about it, but there's one guy who was a little bit on the tall side, says, you know what? It might be a little hard to see the screen the way that it is. So instead of saying, you're an idiot, you know what you're talking about, blah, 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 instead, we actually build this base, which we'll be releasing either with it or the free files. We're not sure, because we want to make it inexpensive. So this is going to be something that will let people now adjust while I'm dropping this thing, adjust the angle. So we don't tell people, no, you're stupid, no, it's horrible. We're like, you know what? Maybe I got a point. Maybe we need to make that kind of change. So, when machines get out there, we're going to listen to people. If someone says, this is a little hard doing it this way, or if we need a little more room on the inside, these are things we actually will try to do, because again, I want people to be happy with the product. I want people have ideas, maybe stuff we didn't even think about, and they have some great ideas. Hence, we brought on people like TOS and Arcade Workshop. These guys have great ideas. I can't think of everything. My team can't think of everything. So the answer to your question is you listen. You listen to your customers. You don't belittle them. You take advice. Maybe sometimes you can't do it for logistic reasons or cost reasons, but you never tell them flat out, you're an idiot or forget about it. You entertain them. Say, listen, you know what? It's a great idea. If it's something we can do, well, like what John would say. John says, anything's possible. Fortunately, I can say that without paying him any money. So we know the other word. So that's what the companies are supposed to do. When they're selling a product to people, you want to listen to your customers, not belittle them. You want to say, okay, this is the response we're getting. We need to make some adjustments. We need to make some fixes. Not every product is perfect. Very rare that it is. But you can make it closer that way by listening to your client base and actively making adjustments whenever you can.
And let me, I'm sorry, Biggie D made a funny comment here.
Who was it? I'll pull it up.
Biggie D's Arcade. Return SF Hadouken buys MK30th. So, so just real quick, I just want to say, part of the reason, there's two reasons why I bought this. One was because I really did want to rep for the free MK4 movement, and I had an MK2 cap that I had bought. I had an MK2 cap that I had bought a while ago, and I did a conversion on it to a Marvel vs. 2 Capcom cab, and then I eventually ended up selling that. But I was like, man, I'm going to get the MK30. And then, the whole thing with the crappy monitor. But 19K Fox has this really good video where he shows you exactly which monitor to get. And so I was like, okay, if I buy this, I'm going to return the Shinku, so I'm going to buy this and then rep it for the free MK4 movement. And then I'm going to also buy the monitor at the same time, which I did. So I am going to, actually that monitor should be here in a couple days, and then I'm going to build this whole thing and put the good monitor in it, so I'll feel a little bit better about it. But it'll be nice to have an MK cab again, and free MK4. So that's all. That is all.
Is that all? Bill, you've kind of been taking this all in. What do you think? He's adjusting his seat, folks. Look out. He's going to let her rip tater chip.
God, I'm not sure what more there is to say. I mean, I think we've kind of covered it all. I think I kind of said my piece earlier, to be quite honest with you.
Well, I just figured I would put it out there, and because I want everybody to, I don't want to bring this topic up again because I don't think it's something that needs to be grilled to the ground. I mean, there's other stuff to talk about here. But I think all in all, if you want a successful product, you got to listen to your fans. And I'm not saying everybody at every company is thinking that. Just like we're not saying every content creator is not, so engrossed with a company that they are, quote unquote, shilling. There are influencers, and I'm an influencer for different companies in broadcasting. It works a little bit different in broadcasting. They send me the gear, and I run beta software. They want it in real-world environments, and then I report back to them almost every week my findings, any crashing that I had with the software or hardware, any types of situations where it didn't perform the way their QA department has outlined. In exchange for that, I get the final product because I'm putting time into it, and I'm also utilizing it in an environment where it potentially could ruin a production or something like that. In the gaming world, it seems a bit different. In the gaming world here, it seems like if you're an influencer, you're the enemy. Rather than looking at it as like the company sees value in your opinion, Notice I said your opinion. And right away, you should be hung out, burned at the stake, put on the guillotine. And I just think that's wrong. As an influencer in the broadcasting world, they don't treat me like that.
I think that you know, let me regather my thoughts here for a second because I was reading a comment up here. But one up says this. One up says this. Hashtag listen to your fans, and I think that is the main thing that I would like to achieve. Is like, dude, be respectful of the community that's supporting you. And if there's a botched launch and there's problems with the product, like, dude, give us all the respect.
That's right.
And address the issues professionally. Show us what you're going to do to fix it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect necessarily right out the door. For some people want that, you know, and I think that with Blitz, they definitely could have done a lot more. But I personally haven't seen it. I'm just going based off of what I have seen, you know, on YouTube and heard. But I think the point is that they owe it to the people who are spending $600 a pop on these things and, you know, supporting these products to give them a professional turnaround and say, hey, you know, this is what we're going to do to fix it. And we're very sorry about the issues that you're experiencing.
Read that comment
Steven,
right there.
real quick. Jay, read that right there. I can't agree more with Metal Hendrix wrote there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great example. So Metal Hendrix says, ask Sonic movie creators. Listening to fans made all the difference. 100% true. And you know, even though Cyberpunk has been a long 2 years, it is huge now. And there's so many more people playing it. And like, they really have stuck to their word of fixing it and making it better. It hasn't been a fast process, but they've done a really good job with it.
So Kevgret put out a comment here just a few seconds ago, and he says, why aren't these questions asked to John D when he's on the stream?
Now, no one wants to step on toes. I'll tell you, that's exactly why.
Well, and I think that's where it needs to happen. We've invited him on here numerous times, and we don't want drama. You know, we want to get answers. We're not afraid to ask the questions. We have no skin in the game. So whenever he wants to come on here, and we'll ask him the questions. If he even goes down that road, I have no problem doing that. I think, you know, we could do something like that.
But also, like, can we just say that he is not the end-all, be-all of Arcade 1-Up?
No.
For crying out loud. He is not the end-all, be-all. And it is definitely
is this where you're going to announce that you work for them? Is that what you're going to...
I'm
sorry. I should have. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, dang
He
it.
is not the end-all, be-all. I get so tired of hearing people always say, like, oh, John D, it's John D, like, John D. No, he is not the end-all, be-all of the company, and it is plausible that John D even can make mistakes, or that information can be passed down to him and then later changed, or that it's incorrectly obtained. I mean, I'm just saying that because everybody, you know, goes around acting like he's got this persona and he thinks he's like Jesus walking on water, and I really don't think that that's the way that it is.
Well, he would be walking on like wine or something, because you ever seen him on a show?
Or medication.
I'm joking. So P-Dubs, he brought this up. He says, you know, guys, I'm blitzed out, and that's why we didn't want to go further down that road. So she's 100% right. You know, John D takes a lot of heat, and I'm not sticking up for the guy. He takes a lot of heat from the community because he's put himself out there. Okay, he's put himself on these shows. He's been very transparent, and I think we had a discussion about the transparency of the company. Should it be less? Less transparency prevents issues like this. That's for them to decide. They're the company. But I also think content creators out there, this is I'm just going to throw this out there. Let's be a little tougher with the questions that we ask, and don't just settle for the answer like this. I mean, because you're not helping anybody with that. I think some of the content creators are going that extra mile and aren't afraid to to poke the bear a little bit. If they're saying I'm an open book and they're saying ask me anything, Glenn, you and I have done that with other like Shiloh from New Wave Toys. He's like,
Yep.
man, you guys can ask me anything, and we went there with certain things, and he answered it. So I want to kind of cut and go to a little bit less of a stressful subject. Let's talk about today's make or break it, because if you don't like it, you can blame Jayde.
Make or break.
All right, today's make or break, your favorite session here on Game Time, is about not Super Mario 3D World, but Wii U. As you guys can see here, I have the complete in-box Wii U set. Did Nintendo make or break the Wii U? Or were you just a public beta tester of an in-between system for the Nintendo Switch?
We'll make this quick.
Family time's dropping fast, people.
Pew!
Time to upgrade to Wii U.
With Wii U, we can play Super Mario 3D World.
Find secrets with the Wii U gamepad.
And did we mention togetherness?
Just check out the simulation.
Whoa.
I look good.
Look at that. Yeah, I look like I've been upgraded.
Get the gift of family when you upgrade to Wii U for $299.99. Game ready to eat for everyone.
Oh, that's true. Well, we were discussing the commercial on the Wii U. Jayde was like, I don't know if I ever saw that commercial. Wii U, Jayde, make or break.
I would definitely say, now, I own a Wii U, and I think that the Wii U had a lot of great games. The 1080p and the fact that you could, undock it or dock it and play it it had a lot of really cool, innovative features that obviously we all know led, like, kind of quickly, actually, to the Switch. But I think that, and Glenn mentioned this behind the scenes, so I'm not totally stealing it, but...
Wait, look at this response from Bobby Broadway, because we played the commercial. Look. You, sir, won the internet today. That's the best comment I got. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but that was...
So, I was saying... I don't even remember seeing commercials for this. And so that leads to what we were kind of talking about, which is that their marketing like blew it on this one. And I think that they were just way too laxed and probably dependent on the success of the Wii when they carried over to the Wii U, and people didn't feel like it was a legitimate enough upgrade to pay, another, what was it, $100 on top of the price of the Wii, I think. It's like $50 or $100, right, guys?
Yes,
something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
I think a Wii was around 200 at that time. Yeah, 150, 200, somewhere around that. So yeah, 300 was definitely above.
Yeah,
But
I
wait,
want to say they were like. I want to say they were like
screen?
350. Okay, Glenn.
Good.
Yeah, but basically though, was like the architecture was mostly the Wii architecture. Like they had more power and they were 1080p output, which were like the biggest thing was the 1080p output with HDMI, and then obviously the handheld screen. But I think that they could have done a lot more and made that console live a lot longer had they had better marketing and promoted it more and made it look bigger, like it was actually an upgrade going from the Wii. It's also at a strange time with TVs as well, though, that era for TVs, whether or not you had like a 1080p TV or not. I think that was still in the period where those were kind of like expensive. But anyways, so I'm going to say that Nintendo definitely broke it.
Mr. Bill, what do you think? Wow, Bill, give us your wild rating on this one.
Yeah, I never had a Wii U. I did have the Wii, loved the Wii. I thought that was a great console. The Wii U looked like an interesting concept with that screen. I liked the idea behind it where you could use the screen as a controller and a secondary screen. So like I know like Breath of the Wild actually came out on that first before it was moved to the Switch. and it was kind of a cool concept that you could play the game and have the map be up on the screen, or your inventory or whatever be up on the screen without having to take you out of the game. So it was a really cool concept, but ultimately it did feel like a stopgap between Wii and Switch. Like, again, screen was cool, being able to undock it and play games on it was cool, but you really couldn't go very far from the dock. It's not like you could take it in the car and go play games like you can with the Switch.
The other thing is that you couldn't play all of the games in handheld mode. So not every single game supported handheld mode fully. There were some games that actually you had to leave it docked for, or you could be holding it and playing the game on the screen. But there was a few, and I want to say the first Splatoon might have been one of them where you couldn't undock it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, it just it didn't go where Nintendo wanted it to. So yeah, I gotta call it a break.
All right, Glenn, give us your words of wisdom.
Well, I will say, it definitely didn't do as well as a typical Nintendo console did, but it didn't do horribly. They made the money on it, but I agree. The marketing department, if anything, is what really screwed the pooch on this one. Most people really saw it as a Wii with a secondary screen. That's really what people saw it as. They didn't really take it as a new console. So if you already had a Wii, most parents are like, well, why do I got to buy that? They got the Wii already. And it's the same thing with a screen. You don't need that. So that definitely hurt them. But when they made a game right for it, it did very well. My son actually played the Wii U much more than my regular Wii. And of course, being HDMI, you got a little better screen resolution. But overall, again, it didn't do as well as it should have done. So the market department screwed the pooch. So unfortunately,
there's a comment from Wolf and Us for you.
Yep. I do. I would actually. I made one. Actually, I have one already. I do with a nice little screen on it. So I already have one of those. Everyone should have.
I will say this for the Wii U though, it is the console that made the name Wii sound much cooler. Because Wii U just sounds god awful.
Wait. We got to go back to what Glenn was doing during when we were playing the video. You were going Wii.
No, that was actually
me.
Oh, that was you. I'm sorry. Bill was like Wii. I actually, you guys didn't hear the video because you didn't hear the response, but I actually said I felt that the Wii U was a beta test for the Switch because you couldn't go a huge distance from the actual dock. Because I said when the Wii U came out, I was like, man, they should just make a console. It's handheld mode that you can dock and it play it on your screen, kind of like this, but only that you can take with you.
What about a 3DS? Isn't that kind of
well, no, but the 3DS is just a tinier screen. So, but yeah, I had a 3DS.
It's not about the size; it's about what you do with it, Steven. Come on,
really? I know. Yeah, like sounds like PU. Speaking of handhelds, it's the time of the show where we get to see what's on deck with Endless One Up.
What's going on, everybody? It's Endless One Up. You're watching Game Time. Thanks for tuning in. But what's on deck today? Well, today we're actually going to talk about what's physically on deck. I just picked up Project Kill Switch from D-Brand, which is a protective case for your Steam Deck, and it comes with a freaking protector for the screen. So you don't even have to put it in the cloth case anymore. Check it out. So I did a video of kind of like my first impressions of this up on my channel. Go check it out. Here it is with the armored front on it now. It's pretty nice. Tell me what you think. Let us know. Do you like it? Do you think it's worth it? The only thing I don't like about it is prying it apart. It's like, and then it feels like it's going to scratch the screen. So you definitely want to get a screen protector if you're going to use this device. It doesn't freaking do it justice, the camera. It's really nicely engineered. It fits the device really well. Has a hard back, rubbery sides, some nice little grippy things. Nice big opening for all the vents. You know, all the buttons are still accessible on all the ports. They did a great job on it. But yeah, thanks a lot. Let's get back to game time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dan. Endless One Up. If you guys want to check him out, go to subscribe his YouTube channel, youtube.com/endlessoneUp. And now it is time for some paid promotion from Jayde as she goes to Shillsville with Tulsa Arcade?
So Tulsa Arcade was kind enough to send me a few items, which I'm going to be making a video on.
Sell out.
And there's actually going to be there's actually going to be a giveaway. So
Sell out.
stay tuned for that. But real quick, they sent me 2 of these wooden overlays for the countercades, and there's actual T-molding that goes on there as well that comes with them. And they also sent this. Now, if you have a Terminator cab, you...
Wait, stop. Random video game nerd wants to know if you disclosed your affiliation.
Yeah, so they actually asked me, hey, we'd like to send you some things so that you can make a video about them. They're like, and we just want you to do an honest review about it. And I was like, sure, I have absolutely no problem doing that for you guys.
Okay.
That is my affiliation with them.
Okay. Keep going,
So,
sell out.
We've got, additionally, the arcade conversion kit.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's the front panel. Oh, nice. Where you can put the coin door.
Yeah, the arcade coin door conversion kit, and there's a couple other parts that come with it, which I'll go over in the video. But just some cool
put your
stuff.
face in that and take photos.
And
That's what I thought it was.
with Arnold.
Yeah,
With
there.
Arnold.
Wait. Here, let me take the lower third off. There you go.
be back.
Now everybody's gonna freeze frame that and clip it and throw it up on Instagram and be like.
So anyways, I'm going to make a video on this stuff so that you guys can kind of see the quality of it and what it entails. And then there will be a giveaway based off that video, more deets to come. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned this week because that video should be up. And thank you, Tulsa Arcades.
Are you done shilling now? Can we get on with the rest of the show, or do you got
Yes.
you got any
I've got
more
my
surprises there that you have to tell everybody about?
I've got my ticket out of Shillsville.
Are you sure? This is your last chance. Anybody else in the chat room? Anybody else in the chat room need to shill?
paid promotion from Tulsa Arcades.
Endless says, "I want to sell out." Anybody else in the chat room? You got any other promotions we want to throw in? Let's get it all out of the way now. No, we appreciate that. I'm curious to see how well that looks when you're all done. So make sure you let everybody know. Bill, it's time for you to lead a discussion here. I'm going to play your clip, and let's take a look at what the final topic of the day is.
What? What? What?
You know, it seems like we go through this every single time a new generation of consoles comes around. Eventually, they're going to stop supporting games on older consoles. It happens every time. And so many of these companies are pushing us more and more towards digital over physical media. I mean, what's better? Is it better to just buy the games digitally and not have to have physical copies? You can just pull them up and play them on your system whenever you want? Or is physical better? Is it better to actually physically own the media that they can't take away from you? Of course, there's nothing that says that the next console is going to support this type of media or these games. So, which is better? You know, when you buy a game digitally, it's there. You can play it whenever you want. But do you really own it if they can take away access from it at any time? And physical. Yes, you physically own it. But unless you're going to hold on to that console forever, there's no guarantee that the next one will be compatible with it. So again, Which is better? Well, let's talk about it. And let us know in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you like physical or do you like digital media? Let's find out. All right, so after a rather heavy topic to start tonight, I thought this would be kind of fun to just kind of play around with. And, you know, again, the idea about it, just like I said in the intro video, is what do people like better? Do they like the idea of physical media or digital media? We know a lot of these companies, you look at, you know, the PS5, you've got a digital only version. Xbox, you have digital only versions. They're pushing people to do this, but you know, it gets to a point where, you know, 2-3 consoles down the road, the ones you bought for this one aren't going to be available. You know, look at Nintendo. Nintendo is constantly reinventing how you can play their old games. You know, now you got to spend $50 a year if you want to play the same Nintendo 64 games you bought, you know, several years ago. So, you know, what can be done about that?
You know, that's an interesting question, because I see a lot of people that are posting in the chat room like, it, you know, you have a physical, and I think we touched on this a little bit. You have a physical edition, but what if it's like Cyberpunk and you got to do these massive updates to it to make it even playable? Then is really having a physical copy worth it? Glenn?
Oh, you've known me long enough to know that physical copies are the only way to go, because even if you download the content, look what happened recently. Nintendo closed down eShops. Like you said,
Right.
Cyberpunk.
Right.
I think the Cyberpunk CD is really just saying, hey, they purchased it. There's nothing actually else on it. And it downloads
Yeah.
the entire game. That's my concern. Even with streaming services, it goes beyond games. Streaming services the same way.
Yes.
You can buy something, and then they say, you know what? Nah, it's not available anymore. And you lose it. So
Stadia.
Exactly, right. So, you know, physical is always the way to go, which is why the oldest console I own is a 360 and a PS2. I'm not going past them. There's no, I mean, actually, the Xbox probably does download some content, so I might be screwed on that one. But
Wait. Let me ask you
believe in
real
physical
quick.
Content.
Do you have a Wii U in a box in a bag?
Of course. Does everyone?
Well, you said Cole was playing it, so I had to ask.
Oh,
He has.
did.
So there's two of them, right?
He did. He gets into a game for like a week and then just sat there for a week. So back in the box, back in the bag, back in the room it went. Back in the box, back in the bag, back in the room it went. It's a song. Back in the room, back in the box.
I had to ask because you brought that up.
Even these things behind me, they're in the video,
there's
but everything's covered in bags. You go in there now, it's all in bags.
There's like several different sides to this though. Like Stadia is literally closing down, I think in January, and you know, that was like a subscriber platform, but you could also purchase games. So it's like, I don't know the details. I haven't looked yet, so I don't want to say something that's not accurate. But I mean, it's like, okay, so now I no longer am going to have, you know, or to be able to really utilize any of the Stadia gear that I have and that platform that I may have bought games on. I don't know if they're allowing people to migrate games or not. But regardless, so that point stands. And then you have the aspect of, you know, buying a hard copy and still essentially having to do the same thing that you would do if you were to download the game, and then not being able to just play the game without putting in the disc. So it kind of almost makes it more of a pain in the butt. So like, you know, the media I think matters too, like whether it's CD or if it's like SD chip based, kind of like the Switch. And then definitely it's also a generational thing. Like if you have older consoles, you know, like let's just say 360 and back, right? It's probably better to have a hard copy of it, because who knows if those stores will still be supported for long enough. But I mean, yeah, yikes, I don't know. And then not to mention you have to do like online checks to play some of those games too, right?
Yeah. Jago has a comment here for you.
You get 100% of your money back from all purchases on Stadia. That's really good.
That's
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, you touched on a whole other thing. I mean, DRM is a whole other.
yeah, I was just
topic
gonna say that.
practically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, it's definitely. I think that one day, obviously, everything is going to be digital. I just don't see it going any other way, really.
Can I ask this question to you guys and in the chat room as well? Now, I know they moved to Blu-rays, they moved to having things on disc. Would you guys be okay if they could do this? And I don't even know if they can do it because I don't know if anything's fast enough unless you go with like an M2 chip. Do you think maybe to get that physical media back with a high rate of chip speed, if they made a console like a PS5 or whatever's in the future for them, where it's on an M2 chip, so it's physical, so you can have media that way? They could pretty it up, put plastic on it, just like the Nintendo
that's what
game.
we want.
Yeah.
You got to realize, to the companies, that's not in their best interest.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like my
Downloading
son,
content is free, and they control everything.
yes, my
So
son
it's
don't
not
want
in their best
physical.
interest. Physical media on newer consoles is dead.
Yes,
It is.
Yeah.
Although I will say this, because they do things like, for example,
You said doo-doo.
Elden Ring, they released like a tin with it if you buy the physical copy, So my point is just that there's still like a collector's aspect to it. I feel like if they still offer certain items kind of like that, like, hey, if you buy this game, even though it's digital, you get this collector's tin or this collector's mini statue or something kind of fun to go along with it to represent like your digital purchase. I mean, that's also one way to kind of soothe the pain there for a lot of the people in our generation who grew up with Atari cartridges.
Hey, Glenn, I'm going to pull this comment back up from Juan, if you want to read this.
Glenn, every old console can be modded in some way or another, and all the games can be stored on a hard drive or SD card. Absolutely. The older ones, absolutely. They have multi-carts for all of them. Absolutely true. But I think the next generation coming out after the current generation, they're all going to be DRM, downloadable content. You're not going to have any type of disc in them. It's not in the company's best interest to spend money when they can simply download for free and keep all the profits. But of course, game collectors, people like us, that's a problem.
Yeah,
it is. And Paul Burns, he's heading out for the night. He said, "Appreciate all you guys. Love the show. We got to go. You guys are awesome. Have a great night." So take care, Paul. Hopefully you catch the rest of it in recording. We'll be wrapping up here in the next 10 minutes, but I'm kind of wondering if the end of video game collecting is physical media is slowly coming to an end, unless you're going with the really old consoles. I think we're going to get to a point
and that's
where
driving those prices up. Look at some of these consoles, man. The cartridge prices are insane.
Yeah.
So what's going to actually happen is, again, there's physical copy for the collectors that want the actual cartridge, and then there's just getting the ROMs and putting them on a multi-cart. But at least with ROMs and a multi-cart, they can't take that away. I mean, it's physical, it's on your machine, it's on your multi-cart, you have a copy. These newer games, when they shut down these services, or your hard drive crashes on your PS5 or your Xbox, you're SOL. You're not getting, once they shut that stuff down, you're not getting it back. These older consoles, your friend may have a copy, you can get a copy of it and still play it on a multi-cart. You have a way of doing it.
Can I like, wait, are we still talking about this, or can I interject with something?
No, we passed on.
Yeah,
just
just
else now,
go, just read this last comment from Frank D on this.
Okay. I think eventually everything will move to a Game Pass type model. Yeah, concur. And that's, I mean,
it's already there.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, is there anybody in here from Australia that got their MVC2 cab today?
I was just
by one. Come on, I want to know.
I was just going to ask if you were going to start shilling another product here because I was like, I thought we were done with that.
I just want to know who else got their MVC cab. Come on, I'm jealous.
Well,
I'm sad.
Well, just to wrap up what we were talking about with the whole physical and digital, I do agree that a lot of things are going to go in a Game Pass model. But what I would love to see these companies come up with something like we're starting to see with, say, movies. You look at a company, and again, I know even with digital movies, there's no guarantee that one day whatever service you're on isn't going to shut down and you're going to lose them. But you look at something like, say, Movies Anywhere, which is Disney. You got a pretty good shot that's going to be around a while. You know, it's Disney. I don't think they're going to shut that down. If anything, they may change it. They may update it. Chances are stuff will move over to whatever new service they do, whatever. You buy something on there, you got a good shot. You're going to own it for a very long time.
But look at Steam and Steam Deck. I mean, that's a great model.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's something that they can just keep carrying and carrying and carrying on, you know, through many different platforms.
Yeah, and I would love to see the consoles go in that direction at some point. I'd love to see it where, you know, like you said, you buy Super Mario Brothers for Nintendo, and you can play Super Mario Brothers on every next Nintendo that comes out because you bought it already, instead of having
No,
to
you'll
feel
still
like
have
you're
to pay.
constantly buying it over and over again.
You'll
Even
still have to pay for it.
Even if it means paying for a service to get access to it.
No, but they'll still
whatever,
make you pay for it 3-5 times, even if it's digital.
I said this a long time ago. I used to
but I
talk
don't
to people
want to.
about this, and they're like, people would always be like, "That's just not going to happen because of the way these companies are." But I was like, all of these companies should band together basically to license one console, and then, you know, they share the profits from the games, because they don't really make very much money off the consoles anyways. But if they had like one console that was banded together and it was all cross-platform, I mean, it would eliminate I don't know
if I know that. I don't know if I know that console.
It would eliminate a lot of the you know, having to deal with, oh, you're not on the PlayStation platform, oh, you're not on the Microsoft platform,
True.
whatever. And then it would just be all in one place. So, I mean, I think that kind of model would be really effective. And then what other choice would people have? They'd be like, all right, well, this is the console I got to buy. And, you know, there we go.
Yeah. Real quick, before, I know a lot of people are heading out because they got work in the morning and stuff. We're going to be wrapping up shortly. But I want to remind everybody, this isn't a shill, Jade. But we're going to be giving away, if you're wanting to get in on the Legends Bit LCD. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to get your hands on one of these. A lot of you guys.
It's time to chill. It's time to chill. It's time to chill with the Steven. Yeah.
So, now I just lost my train of thought because I was trying to figure out what you were saying. No, if you, a lot of you guys super chatted over the last, you know, I don't know, last year. We took some money. We got the Bit LCD, and you know, we don't ask for super chats. You guys don't have to do any of that, but it's something that we want to return. So, how do you get in on this? I've been lazy and I have not done a video yet. So, if you leave a comment under this show to start, if you've already subscribed, what I need you to do is I need you to subscribe to everybody here on the panel in order to be eligible to win this. And we're gonna try to pick a winner here. What I'm trying to do, I personally, my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers at some point. And I know it's hard. I don't know what these guys' individual goals are, but I'm sure they would like some more subscribers. So anything you can do, if you really appreciate the content, you like the content, it's easy. Just click the subscribe button, and it'll be entered. You don't have to do anything crazy, share it, do all that stuff. Just subscribe to these guys and myself, and get yourself a Bit LCD. I think they're around $400. I think they were $350 when they were on sale. I think, Glenn, am I correct in stating
on the Nod Day?
Nod Day. I think that's what they were. But yeah, it's about $400.
And it looks
product.
Amazing. I mean, I have to admit, it was a long wait for them, but they really look like a hell of a screen that's on there.
There is a super chat here from Metalhead. Yep, I'm gonna pull it up here, Glenn. Since you're on screen, if you want to read that.
Glenn, read it in like the Darth Vader voice or whatever.
Oh, hold on.
Oh yeah, you got to do the voices.
Okay, let's see here.
He's working on it.
$4.99 from Metal Hendrix. Sold. It was a solid show. Everyone here is making a difference on people's lives. We share a common nostalgia. We chill. You rock.
Yeah, metal.
Woo! That was good. That was good. Okay, Adam's saying Nod was $275. Okay, so if you didn't get it on Nod, right now it's like $400 brand new, and I think maybe I'm mistaking it for Adam, correct me if I'm wrong. It's $350. Then, if you are a Legends 1.0, they put you in that special club. I forget what it's called. Maybe that's what I'm confusing it with. But either way,
Comes with age, Steven. It happens.
yeah, right. It looks fantastic. A lot of the guys, I have to give it to the community. Again, the community has been really hard at work making all different kinds of banners
Yeah,
for
they
it.
look really nice.
They've been
And
doing a really good
animations
job.
too. I've seen animations on those
Yes,
things, too.
new marquees. So if you want a chance at winning this, definitely all you gotta do is subscribe. Let us know in the comments of the video that you subscribe, so we can verify it and you're in the running for it. And then we'll do a
And you know what's
random giveaway.
good about that whole thing? Actually, that this is a case where at Games has been very good at listening to the community and getting ideas. A lot of these things, like the bit marquee, other items they put on there, firmware updates, was from the community. So they listened and they added it. So that's one of the positives when companies listen to the community.
Yeah, exactly what we've been kind of preaching on here at the beginning. So we look forward. We want to give you guys. We want to get some of these giveaways going. You know what might be good? A good. What is this? Somebody. Oh, it worked. Yes, that worked. It was a subscription. So I've been working on something behind the scenes. So it would put notifications on the screen. Thanks, Jason. I was like, oh, it worked. That's really cool. I've been waiting to see if it worked.
Oh, something I worked on for like 10 months.
Yeah,
Oh, it
well,
worked.
okay. So just to be fair, I did this too. I was working on this. So check this out. A previous video that I did should appear right there.
Oh, hey.
And it'll sit there and it'll go off the screen and it'll cycle on. Wait, it'll come back. Check that out. So that's something I've been working
You're
on.
shilling your own videos.
Hey, it's more or less that I was trying to see if I could do it. is what I was doing. So I've been playing with some video stuff. If you guys have been seeing, so it was cool to see that actually worked. So thank you. I actually started that a couple weeks ago, and I forgot I had it in here, and it's like, oh, it worked. So again, thank you guys. Any parting words here? We'll start with Shelion. What do we got this week?
Oh boy. So I'm actually chipping away at a lot of things in between school and whatnot. But my goal is to get out a video about this Tulsa Arcade gear, and then I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna slow down for maybe a couple weeks. And then I'm going to be chipping away at the documentary, the docuseries that I've been working on. So, yeah, but I mean, I'm always posting shorts and stuff, so you guys might see random things there, and hit me up in the comments and let me know if you have any questions.
All right, if you guys want to subscribe, which I highly recommend so you can get in on this giveaway, youtube.com/Shelion Gaming, as well as Shelion Gaming on every platform. So go check her and subscribe. And then Mr. Wild Bill, what do you got coming on? I know you said you've got some creator block.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what this week brings. I will not be here for next week's show. I am going to be down in the city at New York Comic-Con. But I will have some content from that for sure. As a matter of fact, I just found out there's a panel that I was able to get into to see where they're going to be showing the teaser trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie. So I will report back on that.
Awesome. Read that super chat real quick.
$9.99 from my good buddy Goofyfoot. Here's some change since you all can't seem to shill for a living. Thanks, man.
Wait a second here. Everybody's a comedian here.
So I mean, we'll see what this week brings, but next week I will definitely have some good content from that show. And who knows, you may get some roaming reports from me during the show next week.
Awesome. YouTube.com/
Bill's Retro Gaming Show.
I know. I was just I was building up the suspense because I thought you were gonna go do one of these. You were gonna go, So okay. So YouTube, there it is. YouTube.com/ Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Make sure you guys subscribe. And he's pretty much Bill's Retro Gaming Show on everything. So Endless One Up. If Bill's not going to be here next week, we are calling in the backup. Get your stuff ready. You're going in, son. So we will the next week we will have Endless One Up. He doesn't know it yet. He's going to hear it in the chat when the delay's over. Glen Planamento, youtube.com/gplanamento. What do you got coming this week?
First, I won't be here next Friday either.
What?
Yeah, Friday.
Well, yeah, I won't be here Friday either.
Oh, good. Why?
Because the show's on Thursday.
Okay. I'll be here then. Yay, I keep forgetting. I'll be here. Yay. So,
Glenn forgot to take his Metamucil.
I did. I didn't take my meds.
I was like, I'm not going to be here either on Friday, but you can be here. And Endless will be here, he said.
He will be. Awesome. So that'll be awesome. We haven't been on the show together yet, so that'll be cool. So I posted actually a bunch of videos before I came on here. And I'm actually this weekend be working on my actual production building it and posting the process of how to build it. So when you get your machines, if you have any questions, you can just look at the video and see how it's built. So that'll be hopefully posted sometime next week. And of course, I'll be here Thursday for game time because that's when we do our show on Thursdays. Of course, it's Thursdays. Why wouldn't it be?
Goofyfoot's giving you crap in the chat room.
Well, we've moved it around so many times, even I forget what time we're on nowadays. But Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. Thursday nights at 9 o'clock.
Goofyfoot, wait, did you guys ever watch the Tom Green show, like when it was totally green, like back in the day, when it was just like raw?
Maybe.
Show.
Maybe.
And there was the guy sitting in the background, and there was like a window, and he would just sit there and laugh at everything. Like that's what he did the entire show. We should get Goofy on here and have him do that because he's great. Like he's just got that chill vibe, and he just laughs, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that'll be awesome because I see also random video game. And he's like, "Put me in, coach." So we might have to do that in the future. Get some when somebody can't be here.
You know what's good though? We're ending the show. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's happy. So that's
how it should be. That's how it should be.
Yes.
That's how it should be. No negativity. Everybody's having fun with their stuff. But yeah, we'll be back next week. I'm pretty excited.
On a Thursday.
On a
Thursday.
He's got it down. He was the one calling me old earlier. Do you guys remember that? He just said that to me. It was old.
Well, this is what you're looking forward to, Steven, so you're getting close.
Don't remind me. I already feel the aches and pains. But guys, we really appreciate you hanging with us. I know it's a Thursday night. But again, it works great for us. We really appreciate everybody coming out, everybody bonding together. It was a great show. YouTube.com/thetechbuzz. You're here. Subscribe. Do all that other happy, good stuff. And hopefully by Christmas, what I'd like to see, it'd be a good Christmas present for somebody to get that bit LCD. What do you think? I think that would be, I think, Jayde, you even said before we go, I think you said you had a giveaway too, didn't you?
Right. Well, I have 1,000 subs giveaway, which is for...
See, if I don't shill for you, nobody shills for you.
Where's the glittery music at?
Jeez. There we go.
All right. So for a sealed copy of Pokken Tournament DX, when I reach 1,000 subs, and that is... You just go into my Shinku Hadouken review video and type in #Shinku in there, and you are entered into the giveaway. And then, yeah, the other giveaway is just going to be, it's going to coincide with the video I'm doing for Tulsa Arcade's products.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys, that's enough of us. We're done shilling.
Welcome to Game Time.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.